Okay, let's do this. We have the Procaster and the PodMic. So which one is the best mic? And I don't mean the actual best mic. I mean the best mic for you and your situation. Because I often think it's important to buy the right equipment that you need, and also bearing in mind that the PodMic comes in at about £100, so $130, and the Procaster, it's come down in price a fair bit, but you know, you're still closer to £200, sort of $260. So, you know, this is the cheaper mic. Is that the right one to buy because you're saving some money, or is this worth spending a bit more for what I suppose is technically a better mic, but is it the right mic for you? So there's a lot to consider, and we'll look at the build quality and the sound and just the way that you use it. But first of all, let me show you how I've got this set up. So I've got both of these mics coming into the Rodecaster Pro 2, and I've got them set up on their default settings on the podcast studio. So number one here, I've got the Procaster and the PodMic, and I do really like this mixer because it will help set the gain and the levels related to the mic that you're using. Now, obviously, the mixer does that for the Rode mics. It does have sort of instruments and other dynamic mics, and I think it's got one of the Shure mics in there as well. But that's one of the real benefits of using the Rode equipment with Rode mics. Now, let's first of all discuss the build quality of these, because I will say I'm really impressed by both of them. They are solid, they're metal, they're heavy. In fact, the PodMic, while it's a little bit smaller, it is actually heavier. But both of them feel like they could be dropped and they're going to be okay. And actually, this mic here, I bought secondhand, and I was quite happy doing that because of the build quality. You know, I think if you can pick these up secondhand, you can get them a little bit cheaper. As long as it hasn't been, you know, majorly dropped or battered, they're built to last. So you'll do well, and you can pick them up secondhand. So metal construction, they look great. Yeah, you won't have any problems with the build quality of either of them. Now let's talk about the look of them, because obviously the PodMic is shorter, the Procaster is a longer mic, and actually I think it sort of depends what you're using it for. If I was in a more audio situation, a radio station, you know, possibly this is the more traditional look. It's a longer mic, it looks better. Now, the reason I really like this and actually prefer it for video podcasts or any sort of video recording, actually, it's shorter. It takes up less of the screen. It's not quite as in your face. And also, we're quite used to seeing this. It's why one of the reasons I think the Shure is so popular. Yes, it sounds absolutely brilliant, but we're used to seeing it on podcasts. And I think it's the same with the PodMic. We've sort of got used to accepting that that's what a podcast mic looks like. And you know, there's nothing wrong with either of them. One thing you will notice is the PodMic has a built-in shock mount, which is brilliant, really, really good. So you don't need one. It can just go onto any sort of stand that you've got. The Procaster, I've got it into a shock mount. It doesn't have one built in. You know, I'm not banging against the table. There's not really many vibrations, but you know, you do need that as well. So again, it just adds to the size. So if you're doing a lot of video, it's going to take up more of the frame. Again, I haven't got them blocking my face. I've set them up almost identical, so that hopefully I can switch between the audio when we do the audio test, and you will hear what they sound like. So which one should you buy if you're doing a video podcast? I'd be tempted to just go with the cheaper one because I think it actually looks better. The PodMic. Yeah, so stop saying cheaper. It's not, you know, it's not cheap. It's still, you're dropping £100 on it. But, you know, it is the cheaper mic of the two. But actually, I think it looks brilliant. And I think if you were buying a setup to do video podcasts, I'd probably lean slightly to this. But of course, it's all subjective. So pick which one that you like the look of, and then let's move on to the sound test. Okay, so I'm going to start just by facing right in the center of these. And the sound you can hear at the moment is coming from the Procaster. Now, obviously, this is a industry broadcast mic. It's a fantastic mic. It's always been known for having that really nice, deep sound, and hopefully that's what you're hearing. I'm now switching over to the PodMic. So what do you think? Does it sound any different? You know, or do you think it sounds better? Often it's a little bit brighter. they're both really good. Like I say, at the moment, I'm sort of talking in between them. So let's just do a little test where I speak right into the mic. So if I come in front of this one and really direct my voice, because they do have the pickup pattern right at the front. So I'm directing my voice into here. What do you think? And if I turn my head and speak into this one, what do you think? You know, because it's all right me telling you, oh, this one sounds better or this one sounds better. But again, different people have different uses. So back to the center, I will put up on the screen which mic that you're currently listening to. But what do you think of the sound? So which one would I choose? Well, obviously I did pick this one up secondhand, probably paid about the same price as one of these that I picked up new. What would I buy now? I think I'd probably go with this for what I need. You know, bearing in mind most of my videos are on YouTube. The podcast I do, you know, I just think, how can I put this? I don't think, you know, if you were saying, okay, it's come down in price, but if you said this is double the cost, I don't think you're getting double the mic for your money. So while, yes, this is the better mic, if I had unlimited budget, I'd probably go with these if I just wanted audio quality. If actually I'm being sensible, I'd probably buy the PodMic because actually I think it looks better in video podcasts and you're still getting a fantastic sound. I think for the money, it's probably one of the best mics that I've used. So hopefully that's helped you. It doesn't matter which one you decide on getting. And if you get a bargain on one of these secondhand, then go for it. One extra thing I should have mentioned, these are both XLR. So neither of these are USB. Obviously, with the Rode Procaster, I can come out USB into a device, but they are XLR mics. I know this has a USB version. This one doesn't, but we're testing the XLR versions here. They're both brilliant. You will get great sound quality from either of them. But yeah, I think actually I'd probably save my money, get the smaller one. I think it visually looks better, and I think you're getting great sound from it anyway. But if you want the best quality sound and you've got a little bit of extra money available, yeah, go with the Procaster.